Pre-construction condo market is dead forever. And I'm going to tell you why. For several years, investors have been purchasing condos and basically flipping their paper to a end user when they were close to actually closing their properties. Hi, I'm Paul Sawhney. I am a realtor, mortgage specialist, and real estate investor here in the GTA. And today we're going to be examining why I feel the pre-construction market for condos is pretty much shot to death, and I don't really see it being revitalized in any such way because government is not necessarily going to be assisting. They're just saying, hey, we need to speed up our process. And at the same time, the costs are so ridiculous, and all they're doing is basically hurting the people that they actually want to help assist in providing affordable housing. Now that we have seen some positive numbers, aside from the inflation report that was just released for the month of November, where we basically stayed the same as the month prior, the sentiment has been that the Bank of Canada will be reducing rates soon. That doesn't mean that it's happening, January 2024, but we can expect rates to be declining more than likely at the 6-month mark, or at least that's what I feel. I feel that we're not going to really see something in spring because, again, inflation did not necessarily decline fast enough, according to what the Bank of Canada wanted. Housing starts have actually dropped over 20% just from last month alone. So housing starts for November have reached 212,000. We were just last month at 272,000. The scary part here is going to be that governments have been asking for developers to assist in developing housing because of this big housing crisis. But how the hell are investors going to be building homes when the whole market is not worth them investing? They don't want to be part of what is actually happening right now. Reason being is because you've got high mortgage rates, low affordability, qualifications are super strict. Banks are not necessarily taking risks either. They're being quite conservative in who they want to basically give loans out to. And at the same time, you've got these DCs or development charges that the government has basically got their hand out asking for developers to just basically give them free money. So let's examine exactly what the issue is. So currently we are in a situation where you have pre-construction products and we've got the actual existing inventory that we have. And this gap represents the difference in price. So really, a home that is existing actually costs roughly 20 to 30% below what people are trying to sell in the pre-construction condo market. Now, is that even worth you purchasing as an investment? Not a chance. Did you know that almost 70 to 80% of the people purchasing pre-construction condos are investors? And if you don't have these people making these purchases, then how is it that a developer who may not necessarily have deep pockets is going to break ground? It just doesn't make any sense. In order to break ground and start the construction process for a condo, developers actually need to sell 70% of their units. And they actually used investors to help them attain those figures so that they can break ground and sell the remainder of the units. Now, at the same time, builders were actually using this time to hopefully play the market and increase the value and make a little bit more money on their margins. Unfortunately, in today's market, housing prices have come so low that they're still stuck at set prices and they can't bring them any lower than where they are. Margins are very tight and they're now competing with the existing real estate market, which is again 20 to 30% lower. And even then, those price points are not necessarily so advantageous for you as an investor necessarily versus an end user to purchase these units. As build costs have gone up, builders have actually reduced the amount of square footage per unit to make the price seem to be the same. So there's been a little bit of shrinkflation even when it comes to the builders and the units that they're actually making available for investors or end users to purchase. Many years ago, you would be purchasing condos where the square footage was 650, 700 square foot. That was pretty common. Now you're in the 500s and the price points they're trying to basically give you are at what they used to sell when they were giving 700, 750 square feet. So now, as a result, back in the day, when you were purchasing a condominium, you'd be purchasing a condo unit at say $600 a foot, and then you would be selling that off to a end user when time came close to completion and assign that over to them for making about $100 a foot. So you would make about $60,000, $70,000 at min. They were making a lot more than that. But now, as a result, builder costs are through the roof. The development charges are through the roof. And as a result, it's not worth the speculation that investors need to make in order to try and make $50,000 or $100,000. It doesn't even make sense now for you to start investing in pre-construction condo market. If you take out the 70 or 80% of investors that are actually purchasing these units to the eventual end user, and that doesn't exist, how is it that even units are going to be made? In order to even have housing starts, you need these pre-construction sales to even happen, meaning these numbers that you saw for last month, that housing starts are now at 212,000, are only going to go lower. You got builders going under. You've got builders who are not even going to be putting up their projects for sale. They're just going to sit and wait until the market turns around. I think you're just going to necessarily have a continuous problem with affordability anyways. You're not going to solve that. And at the same time, with the floodgates of immigration open, we are definitely going to be facing a problem where housing is going to be at a real shortage, where people will still not be able to afford what units are available. You might say, what are the solutions for this problem when it comes to development charges? Do you know the government takes approximately 30% of the total sales from a developer per unit? Now that is pretty ridiculous. So if you basically have $1 million condo, you're basically giving over $300,000 to the government just for their development charges. The city actually makes money via property taxes every year, and yet they still have their hands out while the developer is so screwed in trying to make sure that he can put this project together. They're not doing this for the benefit of people. They're obviously there to make profit, but those margins are so small. And now at the same time, the government needs assistance from these large developers, and it ain't going to be coming from them because they don't want to be working for free. You've got a problem where housing is not going to be made, and you've got the costs which are through the roof, and now investors don't even want to invest in these types of projects. It'll be interesting to see exactly what happens with condo developments over the next 5 to 10 years. So here you'll be able to see the top 10 projects in the GTA and how sad it is that the majority of these projects are so undersold that basically they're going to be taking a couple years probably to even try to get to breaking ground. So in my eyes, the pre-condo market was like a pyramid scheme where people were investing and offloading, and they did. They made lots of money. But at the same time, those people who have made purchases in the last year to 2 years are not going to be able to offload for profit. More than likely, it's going to be either at par, or they're probably going to be selling their properties in distress and basically losing their deposits. Those who have purchased condos with the intentions of basically assigning these properties with the ability of not closing on them are definitely going to be facing the brunt. Qualifications are an issue, affordability is an issue, and if you saw my last video, consumer confidence is at its lowest point in the last 60 years. So pre-construction condos, in my eyes, is a dead market. I think there are other better opportunities when it comes to investing in real estate outside of the condo market. I've never been an advocate of investing in pre-construction condos as a tool, except for when you're trying to basically assign it, which now there's no money in it. When you're purchasing a condo at $1,200 a foot and the market is only substantiating $1,100 or $1,150 a foot, there is no point in you investing in that market. And when it comes to even renting a condo out, they're definitely not cash flowing. You're in negative cash flow. And I don't think you should be in the market for speculating to see exactly what direction the market is going to go into, as we have seen what the last year to 2 years have done to many Canadian investors throughout the real estate market. So Don't invest in pre-construction condos. And if you are in a situation trying to figure out how to navigate, I highly recommend you book a call via my Calendly link. The information is in the bio below. We can come up with some solutions as to how to perhaps hold the property for a certain period of time, and maybe you'll be able to offload this without any repercussions from the builders. Catch you on the next one.